and I'm gonna go off camera. So, all right, that should be going. All right, let me go ahead and start letting them in. Come on. And then once they are in, I think we should be good to go. Okay, mute
Sounds good.
participant entry. All right, turn off chime. All right, admit all. Right. Hello, hello, agents. Let me go ahead and start recording. All right. So, hello, agents, and welcome to the Monday webinar. So, some guys may know the medium, but listen, he is not new to this agency. We have been long awaiting this webinar. We have our medium Chad Long, and he's going to be with Europe Express, and of course, how to sell Europe better. So, how are you today, Mr. Chad?
I'm doing great, Tyra. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited to reconnect with you and talk to your agents today.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for being here for us and with us. The floor is all yours. You can take it away.
Sweet. Thank you so much. And welcome, everybody. Really excited to have you all join me today for a little introduction to Europe Express. It probably is a company you've never heard of before if you are newer to the industry. And maybe you've already worked with us a little bit, which is great because this webinar will give you all the latest updates on what we've improved upon in recent years. And if you're brand new to us, this will just be a nice way to hopefully make Europe a little less intimidating for you. Because as a travel advisor, especially when you first start in the industry, you're probably, more gravitating towards selling cruises and all inclusives. And then when it comes to Europe, there's so many different places and a million different things to do. It could be a little bit daunting. So my goal is to basically introduce you to what will be the easy button for everything Europe that you've probably been looking for. So when clients do come to you with those requests for custom itineraries, you know exactly what to do and you don't have to shy away from a request like that. But just as a quick intro, my name is Chad Long. I am the business development manager that covers the Southeast USA. So I cover all these states there you see down underneath my title. Your agency is based in my region, so I'm your go-to guy for all things Europe Express related. And always like to kind of start off with a couple of my personal favorite destinations. I always love Amsterdam. I love going during tulip season. I think it also helps that there's nonstop flights from Orlando, from Tampa, right in my neck of the woods. So I love doing some, at least a yearly visit over to the Netherlands and seeing what new there is to experience in Amsterdam. And then I am a huge sucker for Switzerland also. This picture I took in my last trip to Interlaken this past June. I went for my birthday. Switzerland is my personal favorite country in the entire world to visit. So besides just being incredibly scenic, the culture is vibrant, and the food is delicious. So we'll take you a little bit through those areas. But just wanted you to get a little bit more acquainted with who I am before we dove into the product. I've been with Europe Express now probably pushing 3 years at this point, which is crazy because it feels like I just joined the team yesterday. So time is flying. But before working with Europe Express, I've been a BDM for a total of 7 years at this point. I used to work with Sandals and Beaches Resorts. That's how I initially got connected to Tyra. And since I have moved over to the European side of things. So still here, just in a different capacity. So when it comes to Europe Express, and I'm going to go through a bunch of different slides and give you a ton of information, but really what it boils down to, the one thing you need to remember is we are a one-stop shop for everything you're going to need for Europe. So if a client has an itinerary that they want you to quote and they want you to price out for them, and it is not a guided situation, they want to do exactly what they want to do and they want to go based on their interest, their budget, their personal schedule, that's a perfect fit for us. And I always like to start with a big giant map of what countries we have services and product within. So we only work within Europe. We don't sell any other parts of the world. I think this actually works to our advantage because when you reach out to Europe Express and you're talking to someone in our reservations department, they do not need to know the entire world. They are experts on just these 26 countries you see right here. So if you have a crazy request for Slovakia and Hungary and you've never been before and you want to impress your clients, that's a great reason to want to reach out to us. So we can certainly help streamline the entire planning process. You could use a partner like us where we do all the heavy lifting for you. We give you the proposal. It's nice and beautiful looking. We really impress your clients. We give you access to our specialists who have just a wealth of knowledge and expertise on these destinations. We provide you 24/7 support. We bundle it all together in a nice one easy package. Versus you could piecemeal everything together yourself, and it takes so long to do it that way. You're piecemealing, getting flights from here and hotels from there and tours from somewhere else. And that just takes up all your time, and you really don't get paid very well to do it that way. Versus using us, our commission structure is amazing. We'll pay you like triple what you'd make versus if you were to piecemeal it all together. So it really is a no-brainer when it comes to Europe to use a partner like Europe Express. And when I say we're a one-stop shop, this is everything you can get in one place by working with us. From your hotels, your tours, your transfers, to rail, to air, travel insurance, and even ferries in between islands in Greece. We can book ferries for your clients as well. So again, make it easier on yourself and just come to us. It's a one-stop shop for all of these things you see. Couple different reasons why advisors enjoy working with us over the years. Something I'm very proud about is that we're exclusive to travel advisors, which means we do not take direct client business. So you're never going to need to worry about losing a client to Europe Express because we simply just do not directly work with them. We only work with you guys. Our Europe specialists, like I said, are the brains behind the whole operation. And honestly, one thing that we have over our competitors that do a very similar thing is that there's no sales minimum required for you to work with somebody directly one-on-one. So even on your very first request to us, if you call in and you get connected to Denise and you loved working with Denise, she was knowledgeable, she was fast, you just personalities, you meshed very well. You can save her extension, you could save her email, and for every booking going forward, you can reach out directly to Denise. Our competitors, they require you to have 100K, 250K in sales for you to get that direct representative. Versus us, we allow that right from the get-go, and it really helps if you can develop a relationship and a rapport with somebody on our inside team. Everything about a Europe Express itinerary is completely customizable, so your clients can be as busy as they'd like, they could be as relaxed as they'd like, and we can customize it based on what they're into and what their budget allows for. We do have some preset itineraries on our website that can help get the conversation started, but you'll notice those preset itineraries don't have any pricing on them because the price is completely up to their travel dates, if they want 5-star hotels or 3-star hotels, if they want food tours or history tours or no tours at all. I mean, it's completely up to all of those factors. So those preset itineraries can really help get a conversation started, but just let them know anything about it can be changed. The one time your clients actually can directly reach out to us, though, is while they are traveling. We do offer 24 in-destination support, which is super helpful to you because you do not have to field panicked phone calls at 3 in the morning. And whether it's a big problem or a small problem, honestly, a lot of times we get calls because clients just like can't seem to find their transfer and it's parked 20 feet away around the corner and they just didn't look hard enough. They don't need to be waking you up at 3 in the morning to get you involved in that type of issue. That's a great situation where they could call our in-destination support. And by the time you wake up, the clients are happy again. So that's always good to know that when they're booking with you, they're booking with an entire team who will have their back 24/7. And then our products are hand selected. Our office is actually located in Barcelona. So we have people out over in Europe, boots on the ground, doing site inspections, making sure that our hotels, our tours, our transfer companies that we use, they're all qualified and pre-vetted. And they're not just some random company we found on the internet for you. These are real qualified companies. So basically, Europe Express is split into two different departments. You have FIT and you have groups. And it really just depends how many passengers you're working with, and that deters which one you work with. So for FIT, it is for 1 to 14 travelers. As soon as you hit 15, that does become a group, and we can service groups of hundreds of people. So really just depends on, if you're over 15 or under 15. For FIT, once you reach out to us, you can expect a turnaround time of about 1 to 3 business days. And that is based on the complexity of your request. So if it's something super simple, you'll probably have a proposal back within the day. If it's a multiple country, multiple destination type of thing, you might want to give us 2 or 3 days to work on that for you. So you can set those expectations with your clients. But you're going to get connected again to a specialist who just knows everything about Europe front to back, especially in the destinations that you're requesting. So that's the FIT department turnaround time. And then, of course, for groups, because there is a bit more that goes into a group, like logistically, we ask for about 1 business week to work on your proposal. And then once you get that initial proposal, you can work with that person directly to make any changes or modifications that pop up. Something I personally really like about our groups department, because we are custom, is that not everybody has to do the exact same thing all the time throughout the entire trip. Um, if that you have people that don't drink and you have maybe like a beer and wine tour set up for most of the group, the folks that don't drink can do something else. They can do a food tour, an art tour, and they could be completely on their own and do their own thing. So not everybody is stuck to that exact same schedule. We can still customize it based on what particular people are expecting from their trip to Europe. So kind of like the reason to go custom, of course, is because there really just is so many major, hidden gems and off the beaten track areas in Europe that cruise ships and giant motor coaches just simply cannot access. So if you have a couple or a family or a solo traveler or even a large group that wants to do hiking in the Scandinavia region, or they want to do cooking classes throughout Croatia and Slovenia, whatever it might be. If it's off the beaten track or if it's kind of like a wacky request, we can still absolutely book it for your clients. And we have a giant array of product, of course, for the major touristy cities as well: Paris, London, Rome, Venice, Amsterdam, you name it. We have a wide variety of product, whether it's a big city or a smaller town. Types of travelers, really, we can work with anybody because our product range, right, it ranges from 3 stars to 5 stars. So if they're on a budget or if they're more luxury focused, we have stuff that'll work for them. Culinary, wine, beer, if they're foodies, there definitely is going to be something like that for them within our inventory. Same with art, culture, history, religious experiences. I mean, the Europe is just a mecca for all this type of stuff. Architecture tours, of course, are another really amazing one. If it's a family of 6, we know they're going to expect a lot different of a trip than from a newlywed couple who's celebrating a honeymoon. Maybe pre and post cruise is a great way to get started with us. If you're already a cruise specialist and you're sending clients on ocean cruises and river cruises, you can always call Europe Express to help extend, get them there a few days earlier, have them explore a few days afterwards. We don't have a hotel minimum. So if your clients really only need 1 or 2 nights, we can certainly still book that for them. But of course, if they want a longer extension, maybe their cruise is taken out of Venice, but they want to fly into Rome ahead of time and enjoy like 5 days in Rome, we'll get them on a train up to Venice so they can get on their ship on time too. So we can extend it and customize it really however you see fit. Film locations, clients that are big fans of Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, Bridgerton, Outlander, the list goes on and on. We have some really cool experiences to put them basically right on set of their favorite films. When it comes to Disney Paris, of course, it is Disney, so there is a bunch of red tape all over what we can and cannot help with. So what we really can do for Disneyland Paris is we can help you with day trips. If clients are staying in the city center of Paris, we can get them to and from the park as well as purchase tickets to get into the park as well. It's about a 45-minute, hour-long drive from Paris to Disneyland. And if you have clients that are interested in just doing a day trip or two, we can certainly make that happen. We cannot book Disney properties, though. That, I assume, you need to book with Disney. And then beach and spa, wellness type of getaways, something more on the relaxing side. We have tons of really great, beautiful locations. I actually just got back from Mallorca, where I booked it through Europe Express, and it was very much a wellness relaxation. Chad's been working 400 days in a row. I need a nice long vacation type of trip, and it was very relaxing. So I can attest to that type of style. So for commission, this is the structure. You can kind of see it's broken up based on the different type of products that you're booking. The majority of your money is going to come from hotels, sightseeing, tours, and transfers. We pay 14% on those items, which is pretty competitive in the industry for FIT. Car rentals and travel protection, we pay out 12% on those. We're one of the very few suppliers that pays commission on airfare, and that is any class of service. And then Rail, as you could tell, is the only bummer here. It's a 0% commission. I still encourage you to book Rail with us because Rail can be quite confusing. And of course, it helps to keep everything in one nice, simple package for your clients. But if you feel like you got a little robbed on the Rail part, you can always add a markup of however much you'd like to any booking. Just know that if you add a markup, we do retain 10% of it. You keep 90. So if you add $100, we'll keep our $10, you keep your $90, and that will make up for the lack of commission there in Rail. So for accommodations, again, we're very accommodating based on budget. So if clients have a tighter budget, we can do 3-star. And then we also have 4, 4.5, and those luxurious 5-star hotels already loaded live into our system. And we're adding more every single day. If I were to give you guys a tip, though, on how to keep the price point as low as possible on any itinerary, ask our specialists that you're working with if they have any preferred hotels that they can recommend. Now, this is, of course, when clients are open to recommendations. If they don't really know where they want to stay, but they have a 4-star budget and they're going to London, you can ask our specialists, what 4-star preferred hotels do you have in London? And those are the ones we have the direct contracts with, so they always give us the most favorable rates. If clients are very specific about what they want, that's great too. We can quote and book just about anything in Europe. And if it doesn't exist in our inventory, we can make it exist. And I'll get into those custom requests in just a bit. But if they are specific about where they want to stay, we can still quote that place. It's just, we're not sure if they'll give us a favorable rate or not because we don't have that direct contract with them. But besides the regular hotels, of course, you can see right here, we have glass igloos over in Finland. So your clients can enjoy the northern lights straight from the comfort of their own bed. Besides those fancy glass igloos, though, we also have castle stays. Clients can go to Scotland or Ireland and stay in a beautiful castle. Boutique hotels are all throughout the continent. We have them everywhere. If they want something a bit more homey and niche feeling. And then the 5-star stays, we're really ramping those up. We actually, I'll use this part of the presentation to tease that we have a new luxury division coming very, very soon that will be a completely separate division, but still Europe Express at its core. So it'll be perfect for luxury high-end clients that want that white glove service from start to end. So keep an eye out, subscribe to our newsletter for more information on our luxury division when that is announced in the next few months. These are some 5-star preferred hotels we already have those direct contracts with, though, just to get you thinking a little bit. Adair Manor over in Limerick, Ireland. This is one of our amazing castle options. It's set right on a golf course. It has beautiful views, of course, as you can tell, and it really just gives you the Kate Middleton experience that you crave when you want to stay over in a castle. Claris Hotel and Spa over in Barcelona. This is a fantastic one too. I've stayed in this one twice now, so I just love how the rooms are designed. It's super fresh, clean, sleek looking. There's a pool and a Michelin star restaurant on the rooftop. So I love, love, love this particular hotel. And then the Athenaeum Hotel over in London is perfect because it's in the city center. So you're just an arm's length away from all the major tourist attractions, but it's still in the nicer enough area to where it's not super loud and hustle bustle all the time. I always kind of describe this one as great for those who are seeking refined comfort over in the heart of London. So when it comes to sightseeing activities, of course, this is why they're going to Europe, because they want to do what is only unique over to Europe. And we have the ability to book private experiences where you have a local insider giving you those tips and tricks and providing the flexibility that you can really only have with a private guide. Those are, of course, the most expensive ones when they're private. If they want to save some money, we do offer small group tours, max about 8-10 people. We do offer larger group tours that are the most cost efficient. Those probably go to like 20 or 30 people max. And then if they want to do some seat and coach experiences, like, hop on, hop off in London or in Paris, Lisbon, wherever those exist, we can help you get booked into those. But this is my slide where I always like to give the disclaimer that if you don't see it on our website or in our booking engine, don't write it off right away. We can book literally anything in Europe. And if it exists there, we will find it. Because if clients are specific about something and we don't have it, we'll throw in what we call a custom service request. And we have folks in every country that we sell in Europe that can work with local suppliers to basically create something that's custom for your clients. Now, custom requests, they take a little longer to confirm and they come in a bit more expensive because it is custom for your party only. But as long as you can set that expectation with your clients, like might be a little bit more costly, just give us some extra days to confirm it. We can really book anything. Transfers and car rentals, this is pretty self-explanatory. So again, based on budget, we can do shared, private, or executive transfers, have them be picked up right from the cruise port, right as they get off their ship, take them to hotels, train stations, airports, wherever they need to go. And then car rentals, we partner with Enterprise exclusively on these. We do round trip or one-way routes. Very popular place to do car rentals in your own self-drive itinerary is Ireland. In fact, that is such a popular thing to do in Ireland that we have on our website a pre-built Irish self-drive itinerary. So check that out on our website under the Ireland section if you have clients interested in kind of paving their own way around Ireland. But we could do that in any country, of course. And then rail is the best way to get from city to city in Europe. It's quick, it's affordable, it's scenic, it is very comfortable and eco-friendly. We can book really kind of any class, premier, first, second, that your clients want based on their budget. Flights, of course, I talked about commission on these, but really the main reason you want to book flights with us is so you can have an extra set of eyes on that schedule, because flights cancel and flights are delayed, and sometimes there are strikes at the arrival airports. So if something's going to affect your client's route, we can help you rearrange anything that is going to be affected by it, from hotel check-ins to transfers, any of the above. So this is a nice slide of our minimum requirements, maybe good to take a screenshot or a photo of, but thankfully there's not a lot that you need to remember. The one thing that is really important that I'll stress is we can't do rail only and we can't do air only. Those two things need something else in combination with them: hotels, tours, transfers, whatever. So those can't be booked standalone. Really, with rail, the other land services need to equal 2.5 times what the rail costs. And I know that sounds a bit confusing, and I'm not expecting you guys to like whip out your calculators and try to figure this out every time you book rail with us. It's a very low minimum to hit. Typically, this does not affect advisors at all. So if you're getting hotels in London and Paris and you got a train going through in the middle, you already have blown that minimum out of the water. So I doubt that will affect you, but if it does, our specialist will let you know and guide you through it. And then when it comes to air, like I said earlier, we don't have a hotel minimum, so we really can do 1 or 2 nights only if that's what they're asking for. However, if you want to bundle in our great contracted air rates, then we do need at least 3 nights minimum on that hotel or on that itinerary for hotel nights. And they don't have to be consecutive nights. It could be 2 days prior to their cruise and 1 night after their cruise. That does count towards that 3-night minimum. But again, if they're adamant about only 1 or 2 nights, then we can do published rates, which just come in more expensive than the contracted rates, or you can book air separately from us. It's totally up to you. And then, of course, insurance. I don't need to preach to you guys why this is important, but just any big trip over to Europe deserves to be insured 100%. Luckily for you guys, we make it very convenient for you to throw on a policy at the end of the booking process. We partner with TripMate exclusively. You make 12% commission on the policy. If they want the standard coverage, we can throw it on basically up until the day before they leave. But if they do want that cancel for any reason policy, that needs to be added within 14 days of deposit. So have that conversation with them during the planning process, and definitely after they deposit if they want to go for that higher insurance. But the best thing you guys can do by far to help us help you is to qualify your clients before reaching out to us. And because we do custom trips, you got to ask a lot of questions to understand what they're looking for. You know, we don't really do great with incredibly vague requests like, oh, my clients want 10 days in Italy, and that's it. Like, we're going to need to know a little bit more. And if you're newer to selling Europe and custom FITs, then you might not know the best questions to ask, which is, of course, why I have them all written down for you. And you don't need to take a picture or a screenshot of this. I know it's very wordy. All you need to really remember is this tiny URL link at the top, the tinyurl.com/qualifyee. And that will pull up all of these qualifying questions for you right there on a blog post on our website. So take that link, bookmark it, maybe copy and paste the questions and put it into a Word document. So that way, when you are having conversations with your clients, you can use this as a script and go over every single thing here. If you're telling us all this information, you are not missing anything. And we are going to be able to give you an amazing quote on the very first try. However, if you're missing some of these key items, then it can be kind of difficult for us to draw up a quote. Just for you to see some of our amazing experiences that we have, I tried to throw on a variety of different tours and attractions that we can offer. But again, we have like hundreds, I think at this point, maybe even over 1,000 different tours in our inventory. So couldn't put all of them on here for you. I'd be here forever. So I just chose like 4 or 5. But this one is so great. This I did actually in November when I hosted a fam trip over to the Douro Valley in Portugal. This is a fun 4x4 tour that is accompanied by a scenic river cruise where you're through the Douro Valley, of course. So you are meeting with different winemakers and going to cute little wineries. And besides just being the most scenic vineyard I've ever seen, you learn how the wine goes from the grape all the way up to in your glass. Porto is one of the few places in the world where you can enjoy authentic port wine, and also green wine as well. I've always only thought that there was red wine and white wine, but then I go to Portugal and now there's green wine, a new player introduced here, which the green wine was fantastic. I wish they sold it over in America. But this is a really fun way to experience the Douro Valley, to get a couple wine tastings in, and to just enjoy the scenery of the Douro Valley. Similarly, but also not similarly, because it's a Jeep tour still, but this one is in the middle of the night over in Reykjavik, Iceland. And this one is to hunt down the Northern Lights. And of course, if you're going during Northern Lights season, which really is like December through March over in Iceland, where it's dark the majority of the day, you have a really great chance at seeing these. You're with a seasoned guide who knows exactly where to look for them. And it's just a really great way to enjoy the otherworldly landscapes of Iceland. This one's really popular with families going over to Rome, especially if you have young kids. This tour, the Gladiator School tour over at the Colosseum, it's for ages 6 and up. Adults are welcome to participate as well. But this takes place in the ancient Roman Colosseum, where, of course, you are started off with a guide who helps you teach the kids about ancient Roman history and makes it fun for them. But then, of course, he trains you guys a little bit in the old school gladiator fighting and the techniques of combat that were used back during the ancient Roman times. And then you get a little certificate when you graduate. Of course, it's just a day, so you graduate in a day, and you get a cute certificate to remember your time. So this is a really, really fun one for families headed to Rome. This is something a little bit more up my alley personally over in Santorini. There's nothing in this world that I enjoy more than a catamaran cruise. And a catamaran cruise off the coast of Santorini, where you can see those blue and white cathedrals, so iconic. This just sounds like heaven to me. This cruise will take you to a couple hot springs, some really cool snorkeling spots. We give you lunch, we include wine. So this is great, of course, for like couples or groups of friends traveling together. Or if I'm your client and I'm just traveling by myself, definitely throw me on this one. And then this is a really great tour for Game of Thrones fans over in Dubrovnik, Croatia. This is actually where several iconic scenes were filmed for Game of Thrones. So if you are a fan of the show on this call right now, you might recognize this picture right here. Personally, for me, don't judge me. I've never seen it. It's just a million episodes, and I have trouble committing to things that are that long. But my family, huge Game of Thrones fans, and I sent my parents and my aunt and uncle last year on this very tour with Europe Express, and they loved it. They were just raving about how authentic it felt and how they felt like they were right on set. So this is definitely a hot one in Croatia. And then, of course, Oktoberfest in Munich, Germany. This is the biggest beer festival in the world. I don't know why they don't call it Septemberfest, considering it mostly happens in September and bleeds only slightly into October. But of course, it is fun. It's chaos. It's a beer festival. So everyone's drinking and having a blast. You don't need a tour ticket to get into Oktoberfest necessarily. However, when you book it through Europe Express, you are escorted into the grounds by a private guide, give you a little bit of history on why Oktoberfest is important and why it is still celebrated to this day. But don't worry, we don't lecture you the whole time. You have a free reign to go enjoy the festival, but we do have a private table in the Hofbrau tent. So if you do want to retreat from the chaos and all that that goes down in Oktoberfest, we do have a private reserved section for just our group. So definitely, if you have clients interested in that, this would be a good fit. And then Christmas markets are the number one reason why so many people travel to Europe in December. Christmas markets is something I've never experienced myself, and I'm dying to. They happen all over the continent. I know the slide says Prague. You can also check them out in Hungary and in Austria, in Italy, and in Germany. And it's festive, and there's music and great shopping. And, it's a really, like I said, it's a bucket list item for a lot of people out there. So the earlier you can have these conversations, honestly, even in August, it might be cutting it pretty close for this coming December based on pricing and availability. But still is a much better time now to start putting this out there versus October and November when it'll be basically completely sold out. So great way to experience some Christmas market stops that are off the beaten track from your regular river cruise Christmas market stops. So kind of just a fun fact for those of you that maybe don't sell cruises very often over in Italy, you might not be aware that it can take 90 minutes to get from the cruise terminal of Rome to the actual city of Rome. And this can be a huge bummer, for clients that are super excited to get to Rome, but they're only docked there for 8 hours. And now they realize they're spending 3 of those hours driving. 5 hours, I'll tell you right now, is not enough time to get Rome for all it's worth. So I always recommend using Rome as a pre-cruise stay. Fly them into Rome, maybe 4 or 5 nights there. Really just enjoy Rome and go at your own pace. And then we'll get them up to wherever the ship is embarking from. We'll get them on a train to Venice. They can get on their ship. And that way, when they're docked in Rome, your clients can enjoy the port town, they can enjoy the ship, and they can let everybody else try to haul it over to the city as fast as possible so they can get a glimpse of the Colosseum and have a quick gelato, and then they have to race right back. So definitely consider Rome for a pre or a post stay. Now, getting into more of our website, our recent news, our product updates coming up very soon, some exciting stuff in the pipeline for sure. This is your reminder, though, to register. If you're not signed up with us, get this out of the way today. It takes 2 seconds to fill out the form. You just go to europeexpress.com, click registration at the top. You can even scan this QR code if you feel like doing that. And then sign up. You can use your agency's headquarters in Florida. So that way it shows me as your BDM. And that way you're just getting this out of the way because it takes 24 hours to actually create your account. So that's why I say get it out of the way now, even if you don't have a request for us. Because when you do have a request, I would hate for you to have to wait the extra day that it takes to create your account. So just go ahead and knock that out if you have not done so already. And then there are 4 different ways to actually request a quote from Europe Express. And they all work the very same in the end. So it is literally just up to whatever is your communication preference. Now, for me, I'm an email guy. I like to write out all my thoughts. I like to see it all in one place right before I send it off. So if you'd like to email a request over, send that to newquote@europeexpress.com. That'll reach our FIT department. If you prefer to call, our phone number is right there. It's also on the website. Can't miss it. So you can always call in and talk to somebody. If it's a simple request, like a pre or post cruise type of situation, sometimes they can be built in real time over the phone. So that's always a good reason to call and get some quicker help. You can fill out a web request form on our website. We have FIT and groups up there on the site, and you could just fill out a form. So if you prefer to kind of do a question and answer and fill out the fields kind of thing, that's always there for you. And then if you prefer to build it yourself online, we have a great booking platform for you to fiddle around with and build your own package. If you get stuck building your package yourself on our website, though, you can always save your work, get a free quote number, and then email or call in that quote number and get a specialist to jump in and assist you. So just because you start it one way does not mean you have to finish out the quote the exact same way. And this is kind of a look at the life cycle, I guess you could call it, of a request when you send it in. Once you send that in, we call it a lead. We assign the lead to one of our amazing specialists that you work with directly on making any changes and just until the quote is perfect for deposit. And then once your client places that deposit down, your specialist will introduce you to your travel advisor support coordinator who helps with any small things that might happen post deposit confirmations, getting the passport information, finalizing schedules and tours, stuff like that. So you basically have two people that are dedicated to your reservation for every booking. And then during travel, of course, you have our 24/7 in destination support. And then if they kept issues a secret up until they got home, we have a great post trip customer service department that you can talk about refunds or feedback, anything like that. I highly, highly encourage you to encourage your clients to call in destination in the moment. I know there's several times where clients will not tell you anything and then they get home and that's when they want to complain. And so our customer service team is great for that. But if we can fix their client's trip in the moment while they're still there, that is the goal because we want them to have an amazing trip. And if we can solve anything while they're in destination, that is, of course, the goal. Great sample itineraries over in our website under destinations. You can click whatever country and see some of those suggested itineraries there. This is great for if a client maybe saw a really pretty TikTok of Mykonos and now they're fixated on going to Mykonos, but they don't know anything about it besides that they just love seeing Mykonos on TikTok. So that might be a great time to send over a sample itinerary and be like, oh, this is a great one that incorporates Mykonos into it. If you want to stay longer there or add extra stops, just let me know and we can reprice it out for you. But these really do help kind of guide those conversations there. Our sightseeing library under the travel services tab is awesome because it's actually a client-friendly page. So if you guys are talking about tours and activities and excursions, and you don't want to go back and forth by sending them a bunch of options, you could just send them the link to our sightseeing library, and your client can go through all of it themselves. They could search it based on country, or they can type in words like Eiffel Tower and Vatican and see what kind of tours we have for those items. And there's no big book now button on our website. Again, we don't work with clients directly. So if they find something that they like, they just have to tell you. And then you can reach out to us and we can book those there. But again, I'll reiterate, we can book so much more than what's on our website. This is just kind of what's immediately available to us. But if they want something outside of what they're finding, let us know and we will put in a custom request for you. And then city guides, I think, are our best resource ever, and they are so often neglected by travel advisors. So I really hope you guys use them if you need them. City guides, these are our version of a resort fact sheet or a cruise fact sheet, where it has all the room categories and all the restaurants, all the information. This is our version of that, where if you need to know something about Bruges, Belgium, whether that's spas or shopping or nightlife or restaurants, or hotels, you don't always need to call in and wait for a response. Our city guides have all this stuff locked and loaded right there for you to access for free right through our website. I recommend not sending full city guides to your clients because then they can get some bright ideas and book some stuff themselves. However, if you use it as your secret weapon just to sound like a pro at any of these places, definitely utilize them to your advantage. They are very helpful. And you can find them right under the resources tab. Once you log in, go to resources and you'll find city guides right there. And then, of course, you're all welcome to friend me on social media. If we're not friends yet, just type in ChadlongBDM. And then, of course, I post Europe Express updates as they happen, but I'm most known for my copy and paste material, where you can take my content, copy and paste it onto your own social media. If you need to promote Europe or just kind of get the word out there that you are someone who can book a custom Europe itinerary and you just feel like you're bad at social media or you just have writer's block, whatever it is, you can use my posts. I encourage you to personalize them, make them your own, but they are there to help you get started. Just make sure you friend the BDM page. I do have a personal Facebook page that'll accept you onto, but it's just my mom tagging me and stuff. It's so not interesting to probably what you guys are needing. So the BDM page has the actual Europe content. And then our new rewards program is super exciting, Passport to Perks. So now, of course, with every booking you make with us, you are earning benefits and perks for yourself. And there's four different tiers. You start at Ambassador, Insider, Expert, and you can work your way all the way up to Elite. What I personally love about this is that everything's automatic. So you don't need to remember to sign up for this. You don't need to register your bookings when you make them to get your points. It's all automatically done and kept track of for you. So this is a little breakdown as to what you get. Once you hit that first tier of ambassador, that's $40,000 or more revenue booked. Then you become eligible for our fam trips. Once you hit that expert level, you become guaranteed to get an invite to those fam trips. And then once you hit that ambassador level two, you are earning travel credit on every single booking that you're making. And this personal travel credit can rack up to be quite a lot of money, and then you can redeem it for your own personal trip over to Europe. And we have a great travel agent discount as it is. This travel credit you get through our rewards program is combinable with that standard travel agent discount. So you could really get yourself a nice, cheap firsthand experience over to Europe through Europe Express. But we understand not everybody has the time to just drop everything and go over to Europe and do a little trip. So if you're too busy, we still want to reward you somehow so you can redeem your travel credit for half the value for just plain cash back. And you can just cash that check however you'd like because it's just money. And then you can see as you work your way up, the level and of which that you earn that cash back and travel credit is higher. You can get early access to our new product, top call prioritization, again, guaranteed invites to our fam trips, stuff like that. And of course, with every tier, you earn these little virtual badges also that you could put on your email signature or your website or your social media, just to kind of show off that, yep, I'm credible. I can book Europe. I have several clients that have trusted me with their Europe vacations, and I am an insider with Europe Express. And to sweeten the deal, of course, on the very, very first travel booking that you get for 2025, and this will be the same for next year too, you automatically would get a $100 travel credit. And that can be, maybe you have a trip to Europe planned already. That's a free tour. That's some money off your hotel. So if you're interested in learning more, just log into your Europe Express account and click rewards at the top, and that will take you right to where you need to come. But still to come down the pipeline, we have, like I said, our luxury division, Elevated Journeys by Europe Express. You should be seeing more information on that very, very soon for those high-end clients. Client-facing collateral, if you're out there doing shows and expos, we don't have anything for the client right now. All of our collateral is just for you guys, but we are working on some client-facing stuff very soon. And then our booking platform is going to get a nice little makeover soon too, just to make it even more user-friendly and more well-designed, brought into 2025, the modern era. So that is all coming soon. Fam trips, of course. I always say, I mean, I've been saying this for like 7 years now. Jealousy is the number one seller, hands down, without a question. If you can get over to Europe and post pictures and videos and show off what you're doing, essentially creating FOMO in your clients, they're going to ask questions. How are you doing this? How can I do the exact same thing as you? Like, I'm so interested in a trip like this with my family, with my girlfriends, like, whatever it might be. So these FAMs are available to those who have reached that ambassador level in our rewards program, $40,000 in booked revenue or more. So definitely stay connected with me, especially if you're getting close to hitting that threshold, so I can start recommending you for some of our FAM trips. But again, FAMs are, with a random group of advisors, and there is a specific schedule because we want to show you as much product as possible. So if you'd rather travel with your own people and do it at your own pace, again, we have a great TA rate. Just ask your specialist to apply it, and they'll go ahead and do it. It's for you and a +1. You can bring as many people as you'd like, but this discount only applies to you and a +1. And you can see it's applicable to hotels, tours, transfers, and car rentals. The amount off depends on your departure. So all that is on our website. You can feel free to check it out as well. But this is a nice little recap, of course, for our FIT and group specialists, their hours, phone numbers, emails. It's all on our website too. If you need a refresher, you can just take a picture of this one right here. But this is the last slide. So I we'll go through and see if there are any questions in the chat or if anybody, I'm not sure you guys do questions if you unmute or whatever, but I'm happy to answer anything that comes along.
Let's see in the chat. Miss 20 says, can this be done with you? I'm creating a trip for 2027. I'm staying at Pavilion de la Renee, and I believe it's in Paris. I'm looking at the little snapshot of the comment.
Yeah, I'm reading that too. It does look like something that we can do. But the only thing I will mention is 2027 might be a little too far out for us to quote right now. We can usually quote about 12 months in advance for FIT and 18 months in advance for groups. So if it's 2027, you might want to hold off on reaching out to us for a little bit longer. But once it falls within that 12-month time frame, then we're happy to give you a quote.
Thank you. Agents, do we have any other questions for Mr. Chad?
I
Hi.
have a question. I missed that page for get to you are.
You broke up a lot. I actually
Either.
didn't hear the question.
Oh, yeah, I know. You guys have been breaking up for me too, so I know it's my connection. Can you hear me better now?
I can,
Yes.
yeah.
I'll put it. Oh, okay. So I was looking for the page to register. It had a QR code, but if you could just give me the site, I'll write it down.
Yeah, just go to europeexpress.com and then click registration up at the top. And
Okay. Oh, okay.
yep, it's pretty easy. And then I see also in the chat, uh, if this group for your 2027 trip is less than 15 people, reach out to FIT. If it's more than 15, reach out to groups.
Thank you. Agents, we got any more questions from Mr. Chad?
No, but I have a comment.
Yeah, what's up?
So
Go for it.
I was gonna say, Chad, if you ever make it to the Christmas market, make sure you try the Glühwein hot wine.
Ooh, that sounds nice. Hot wine. Yeah.
Yes.
I will definitely mentally note that because this December I'm trying to get over to the Christmas market. So we shall see. But that's a great thing for me to think about when I'm there.
I'm going to Porto, Portugal in September. Can we bring the green wine back?
I think you can, and I highly recommend doing so.
Yeah,
That's great.
I definitely will try that.
You should try to smuggle some back, absolutely.
No, I'm not gonna smuggle. I have to do it legally. If I can bring it legally, I definitely will bring some back.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Okay. I got that.
Let's check the comments again. In the comments, agents, if you have any other questions for Mr. Chad, you guys are free to come off of mute, or you could throw it over in the chat, but it probably takes longer to type it.
And if you guys think of something later too, my information's on our website, email and phone. So you can always go to the About Us tab, click Sales Team, and my stuff will pop up right there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. All right. Well, agents, if you guys do not have any questions for Mr. Chad, listen, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Chad. Agents, thank you so much for being here. You guys can reach out him to chat directly, or you guys can send us an email. Either way is fine. But I look forward to our very next meeting, Chad. If you guys have any updates, let me know.
Will do. Thank you for having me, and looking forward to working with all of you.
Absolutely. Talk to you guys soon.
You.
Bye.
That was great. Bye.